The Virginia School for the Deaf and the Blind at Stanton was established in 1839 by the Virginia General Assembly. Under the supervision of the Virginia Department of Education, the school exists to provide comprehensive educational services to deaf, hard of hearing, blind, or visually impaired children from birth to 22 years of age who have been referred by local school systems. Here, two separate programs, one for the deaf and one for the blind, offer both residential and day student placement.
Our mission is to support the needs of students referred to us by public school programs from across the Commonwealth. We cannot directly recruit students ourselves. They must be referred by the local public schools with input from parents. And VSDB is a place where students come from all over the state. And as they come here and study here, there are relationships established among the students and with the staff that are very important. These relationships oftentimes are lifelong relationships that would otherwise not happen had the child been in another kind of environment.
Not only just education, the residential setting is a place where deaf, and for that matter blind, boys and girls, learn from each other. They learn from each other in a variety of different ways. They learn new ideas, and they share amongst themselves those ideas. And also, they have social skills that they share with each other. They have the opportunity to participate, as many boys and girls in public schools, hearing kids in public school systems do. They can participate in extracurricular activities like Student Body Council, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Junior NAD, National Association for the Deaf organization, and other organizations. Also, the Yearbook organization. And they can also participate in sports. They have the opportunity to play on teams. I know that lots of deaf kids in public school systems have much reduced opportunities to participate in organizations, as I was just talking about, for example, in athletic programs and such. And what's the difference? The difference is communication.
If the student comes here, they will be able to participate in a lot of extracurricular activities that they may not get the chance to do in the mainstream program. And it also does have a good academic program. They have a lot of folks here who are good role models that the students can look up to. And that's one of the things I think that helped me growing up.
Mother duck said, quack, 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 quack. But only 4 little ducks came back. Let's count them. How many?
In the toddler and preschool classes, the kids are ages 2, 3, and 4. And what's nice about those classes is that the kids come and they learn through play. We don't actually sit down and teach them one-on-one. We don't teach them signs. They learn it as they're playing. They learn it as we're interacting with them. And they can communicate with anybody on campus, not just the teachers. We always have hearing kids in the class, and that gives the hard of hearing children mainly an English spoken model. They have a speech model besides just the teachers. It just happens that right now both of the teachers are hearing, so we can provide a speech model, but the hearing children also provide that model. The benefit for those hearing kids coming in is that they can better communicate with their families, because one of the prerequisites to be a hearing child in our program is that you have a deaf brother or sister, or that your parents are deaf. So those kids are only signing at home, or they need to sign at home. So when they come to school, they're learning more signs to help them better communicate at home. So there's a dual purpose in them coming. But the kids, they play. It's a fun place to come, and they enjoy being here, and they enjoy being with other kids that they can talk to. And unfortunately, that's not the case when they're at home for a lot of them.
Spell yellow. Y. E-L-L. Oh, you're right. You remembered. Amanda.
We moved here from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Really in Stafford, Virginia. We were going to school there, and she was in junior kindergarten there, and she was in regular kindergarten there. And when she started first grade, at that time there was no place to put her because she had to learn Braille. She was not sighted, so to keep on with her education, we had to make some decisions. And my husband was lucky enough to get transferred here. The first time when we brought her down the first weekend, the first day of school, and I think even Ms. Lewis was a little nervous about it because Angel was very much a mama's little girl, and she was very much a homebody. But when we got here, she said, "Bye, Mom, I'm going to go play with my friends." She was all excited because there's other blind children to play with. She really liked it. I was the one that went home crying. She was happy. And that's terrible. Anyway.
Their teachers understand their needs, and materials are available for them. The environment is designed for them to be comfortable and safe, and they're allowed to focus better on their learning rather than focusing on their disability. We are able to provide students with time to focus on the skills that will give them the greatest success as a blind or visually impaired person in society, to become as independent as possible, to become as literate as possible, and to give them the self-esteem to get out into the world and be a functional member of society.
There's things that sighted people that you just do because you know to do them. You've seen to do them, whereas when you're blind, you don't see to do those things, and you don't train somebody. You know, your children pick up from you, and if they can't see to pick up from you, then it's very important for somebody to teach you how to walk around a curve, how to walk, you know, to learn how to walk down steps and how to get around. They learn at different rates. They learn at their speed. They're not learning like everybody's speed, because not everybody's the same. And I guess being handicapped, you're not going to be the same as another handicapped child. It's just like sighted people. Everybody doesn't learn at the same rates.
Birds' eggs are a lot smaller than chicken eggs. And this one looks like it's made of pine needles. But there's also some other things inside.
It's like branches.
That's right. The birds take all kinds of material.
Bill?
And learning Braille. She has it, you know, every day, whereas in schools, you don't have it every day. You'd only get the services and Braille service maybe an hour.
Braille line ready, that daily was page Braille file option and file open A R Y very
Oh, it's not. All right, why don't you save it?
This is a journalism class.
And by the time they come here, usually they know how to type. These are all middle school students. Ross and Alyssa are 7th graders, and Kevin's an 8th grader, and I was in 9th grade.
I'm going to let her take my arm, okay? That way that she can follow behind me just a little bit and feel my movements. And then we can walk pretty fast, and she can feel very relaxed and comfortable.
I know. That's the way Brandy and I are.
Good. I'd like you to try guiding her now, okay?
Okay.
Good job, Kate. Reach up and straighten out the collar. That's the way. Now show me how you zip your coat. Good job, Kate.
It really strikes me more that it's the attitude. I've not met anyone here. I'm not trying to butter anybody up, but I haven't met anyone here that hasn't had a genuine interest in the children. And not to say it doesn't happen in the public school. There are a lot of good teachers in schools, but this is a different place.
Stanton gave him the opportunity, not only if he was running into academic problems, to take a moment, stop, address the problem, for example, in biology, science, math. How does visually impaired kid handle that kind of situation? But the social aspects, as far as playing games with other visually impaired children, gym, PE, playing ball, going to the mall, watching a movie, so many aspects that are in growth and development for other children, that he wasn't getting that side of development in his current situation. All of those are reasons why we chose Stanton. And we found that the 3 months that he's been here, the growth has been tremendous. He even has a girlfriend. And that's what life for a kid at that age should be like. Music, fun, and friends. Not just learning, which is very important, don't get me wrong, but the other side to being a child is also social development. And that's where it's played the biggest part for him.
He had friends. He could play sports. He could play basketball. He was on a team. He was part of a group for once, and that was wonderful to see. And my husband and I, we come here a lot, and we're involved with the school. So I think that helps.
The last chapter is on multiplication. So I'm going to be sending home some flashcards for you to memorize your multiplication, okay? This really is just introducing the concept of multiplication, but it would be really helpful if she started practicing them. Because
What's that
the
sign?
next multiplication, okay? Yeah. The little kids will use this, but she's more mature now, so we use multiplication, okay? Yeah. It's like the little kids will say add and subtract too, but it's really add and subtract. Okay. So, she's in this. If she passed the test on it, she wouldn't have to do the work on it.
Do you understand this? You understand?
All students will be required to pass before they get a regular diploma. These are also SOL objectives. And so this would show, for example,
I'm the principal of the deaf department. And my job demands that I do a lot of communicating with the kids here. Really, it is my job. I am here for the children. Those kids are my kids. And when I was growing up, I was in a residential school, and it was very rare for me or the other students to just go see the principal. We had to practice our speech and our lip reading before we went to see the principal. But here, the kids make an appointment, they come in, and they say what they have to say, and they talk to me. And I talk right back to them. It's great. They don't have to worry or feel uncomfortable or awkward. None of that. And when I call them into the office, say I have to scold them or whatever, it's so good because it's right there. Our communication is right there. It's so much easier. We speak the same language here.
Good, good.
It's a very rich history among the deaf people. We have a very strong bond together. And we have lots of jokes, and we share values. And if you add all these things together, the jokes and the values and the history and the language, yes, we do have a culture. We're not handicapped. No way are we handicapped. Other people handicap us, but we ourselves don't view ourselves as handicapped. No.
What's really important about this class is to provide students the opportunity to experience hands-on with the tools and the equipment and the materials, to develop some self-esteem and some self-worth using their hands. We service both students that are college-oriented and also vocationally oriented, and we offer them the opportunity to advance themselves individually.
First of all, I think a lot of parents don't know about the school. I think sometimes LEAs don't mention the school as an option. And I think that the LEAs need to really share this information with parents as this being a possibility for parents. My son can learn his history and science and biology. When he takes biology, he's 11, so he's not taking it yet, but he can learn that through American Sign Language, ASL, from his teacher without having to have an interpreter in between. If he were in a public school, a mainstream program in a public school, there would always be that interpreter there that would be between him and his teacher. So I feel that the fact that everyone is speaking the same language here is the biggest benefit that I see for my boys.
Great. Can you read what you wrote? The fast facts you wrote about George Washington? Can you read it for me? He became, use both hands. He became president in April 30th in 1789. He lived in New York City. 12 states vote for him. In 1793, George Washington became president again. 15 states voted. He became president for 8 years. Great, wow! You included right. You want to show them what you do? Okay. Yep. Does that come around here?
Yeah, we're supposed to go swimming tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
So we're supposed to go swimming tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it'll probably be okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut the stitches, okay?
This school in particular offers an authentic type of inclusion, authentic, genuine being a part of things, being a part of the main thing that's going on in the classroom and not feeling like an attachment or not feeling isolated or like an island. You know, it's not enough to share a classroom or to share the same space or to share even the same teacher. In order to feel a part of things, you have to be a part of the social, the little miniature community of that classroom or that class. And I think that's one of the things that I know the kids feel here. They feel like they're in the middle of it. They're in the thick of it. And they are included. They're not tangential. They're not peripheral to the process. It's not them and their interpreter, or them and their aide, or them and their behavior management specialist, or them and their resource teacher. The boat is very big here. If we're all in the same boat, the boat has just gotten bigger.
If Nick is finished reading to you, you can pick out a plate and give it to Nick. He can have his snack before he leaves. You have a snack for Shay. Napkins and jacket, not because what's wrong with her. He's got time and songs. I've lost my favorite paper.
Put in your ear. Because it's going to go into your ear and it's going to get hard. And we're going to pull it out. It's going to look the same as your ear. And we will mail it away for a new ear mold. Ready? Okay, it's cold. Okay? Here we go. Look at what she's doing. She's putting pink in her ears. She's a big girl. 1, 2, yellow, 5, 6. We had ear mold parties because kids hate to have ear molds made, so we do them all at the same time.
Chris wants M&M plain. He wants some M&M's plain. Chris, give us the mic. I think the dormitory program here is the essence of their program. It's just as important as the academic program because the students have the opportunity to socialize with their peers and to involve themselves in a variety of activities that normal children do. And here they interact with their friends and children that are very similar to themselves. We also have a lot of students, not a lot, but some students who are younger that have very little or few self-help skills. And here we require them to be independent and we teach them independence. And because they live in a dormitory with other children,
they want to be independent, so they do learn to do things for themselves that they might not do at home or that a parent might do for them, and it is a requirement.
I think our record of people in the job force that are tax-paying citizens and those that have gone on to further education, I think our record speaks for itself. And our counseling center has percentages, and you know, we consider it a personal failure if any of our students graduate and end up on the Social Security rolls. We hope for them to be tax-paying citizens and to pay back to the Commonwealth what the Commonwealth has provided to them, enabling them to have a choice such as this at their disposal.
Whether they're exiting as a 21-year-old or whether they leave VSDB to go back to their local school, that next step needs to be very carefully planned for each kid. And I think that that's our success, if they know what their next step is.
So what VSDB does, beyond leveling the playing field, it opens a stadium gate. And then you've got this whole community that you enter, the deaf community, the blind community, and that begins here on a campus like this.